Smash those likes. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day, guys, and we're back here for a Saturday morning stream. The markets have been pumping. Now the markets are starting to pull back here on the day. What's going on? Look at this. Up on the week, we've got tons of move to the upside. 13, 26, 19, 25, 37, right? Lots of moves. 66% by XLM. Let's go. But on the daily, wah, wah, wah. Or no. What is going on? Why are we dropping like it's hot on the daily here, having a little slight pullback? We're going to be covering all of this. We're going to be covering where are some altcoins potentially be going next. Where are we headed into an altcoin season? Where is Bitcoin going? And much, much more. So I appreciate everybody jumping in here. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes, filling up those like meters, hitting up all the likes that you possibly can. Definitely helps with the algorithm. Appreciate anybody sharing out the live, calling your friends over, because this is the time to be locking in, guys. This is the time to be locking in to what's really going on in the markets here. It's not the time to be, okay, my bags are pumping, I'll come back and look at it next week, because just as quickly as this pump has come, just as quickly this pump can go away, right? That's how quick the markets change. 2 weeks ago, it was all doom and gloom. Now it's pump time, right? But if you stop looking at the charts, if you stop paying attention, it can just poof, just go away. Just that easy, that fast. Want to make sure that there's no audio problems. If you guys can hear me, make sure that you guys are tapping those likes. Make sure you guys are dropping a yes in the chat. If you guys can hear me, I want to make sure that there is no audio problems. There has been audio problems in the past. So just want to make sure. Audio good? Yes. Okay. Jessica Bar says yes. Sack Nasty in the house. What's going on? Good to see you, brother. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. All right. The dip is just dipping. Yeah, the dip is just dipping, but how low can this dip go is what we're going to find out here, guys. So let's jump on over to the Bitcoin chart here. Let me let this bad boy load in. Come on. Here we go. Let's jump down to the 15-minute. All right. So let me clean up this chart a little bit. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. Then now let's get and some of these. All right, Bitcoin just a lot of sideways price action yesterday, Friday, which is fantastic. This is what we want to see. We want to see sideways price action for Bitcoin so that the altcoins can run, but the altcoins ain't running. So what's going on, right? So we're gonna dive into that here. We're gonna be diving into everything that's potentially going on in the market right now. Where is this? Here we go. Okay, we hit that already. Let's get the daily. Or already hit that as well. Coming right here into the value area low of the previous day range. Okay. Cool. So Bitcoin overall, no new levels here. If we begin to lose the value area low, which is also the daily untapped average for Bitcoin around $117,211, we could potentially, start facing some pullbacks here down to the previous day low of 115,200. We have an untapped daily average down at 114,648, along with a daily untapped NPOC down at 111,178. We also have another level down at 108,785. We haven't been tapping those levels. We've just been running away from these daily MPOCs. Not saying that we're going to come back to them right now, but if we start dropping below the previous all-time high of 112,000, we start dropping below that, it's not going to be good, friends. It's not going to be good. So why are the altcoins not running? If we go take a look at the Bitcoin dominance here, this bad boy has been climbing back up. Let me get rid of this. Come on, here we go. So Bitcoin dominance came down as low as 64.08% yesterday, right? Came down all the way down here and then quickly started to recover and push right back up. It actually front ran our quarter two NPOC by just a little bit. Oh man, my magnet was on. By just a little bit, actually. By a little tiny hair, but it front ran it nonetheless, right? And now we are, let me show you here. Bitcoin dominance is in an uptrend for Q2 of 2024, right? 2025, sorry. Q2 of 2025 is an uptrend in the Bitcoin dominance. We fell out of that uptrend yesterday, and now we have quickly recovered and gotten back inside of it. We're also now inside, obviously, the Q2 range, where we almost hit the NPOC. We front ran that target and kept pushing up. We need Bitcoin dominance to get rejected here and continue falling out of the uptrend and start heading towards 63.30% and lower. That's what we really need for Bitcoin dominance to allow altcoins to continue running, because the first two steps of an altcoin season is already happening, which is Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high and Bitcoin ranging at these highs, right? Staying up here at 117. Very, very good. It hasn't been a quick wick and then straight pullback, right? We've been ranging up here for the last 2 days, and we're probably going to continue ranging here throughout the weekend, right? A little bit of dips here and there, but when I mean ranging, I mean staying above 112. Meanwhile, we stay above 112, altcoins are okay. So staying above 112 is critical for Bitcoin, and then ranging at these levels. But the Bitcoin dominance needs to give up. The Bitcoin dominance needs to begin dropping. If it does not drop to below 64% and lower, then the altcoins are just going to be restrained. They're not going to be able to have the freedom that they need to really run like they have in the past, right? And they're just going to be dependent on Bitcoin's rallying itself. So that is what's happening right now with the Bitcoin, with altcoins having a little bit of a slight pullback. It's that increase in Bitcoin dominance that really takes away from the altcoins. Let me quickly jump here into the chat, make sure I say hi to everybody. I don't want to miss any chats, and see if everybody's got any questions. Good to see everybody in here, says Sagnesi says sounds good. Okay. I was looking to sell everything the first half of the year. Now it's looking like end of third quarter into fourth quarter guaranteed. Yeah, man, third quarter has been playing out pretty good. Second quarter was overall great, right? We had a good rally from the April lows into May, and then we had a little bit of a struggle throughout the month of June. But overall, now we're recovering here in the guys. We've got like over 50 people here, and we got 3 likes. Tap those likes, guys. Tap those likes. Send those likes in. Let's get the likes rocking and rolling. Let's get 1,000+ likes. Come on, guys. You guys can do it. So third quarter is looking good so far. If we get an interest rate cut here, right, which is a lot of people are expecting an interest rate cut. There's also rumors now that Jerome Powell is going to be resigning. Some official paperwork has come out saying that that is a possibility. If that is true, and we are going to get Jerome Powell resigning here, obviously he's going to be getting replaced with somebody that is going, yeehaw, baby. I appreciate the cowboy hat. He's going to be getting replaced with somebody that is obviously going to be lowering interest rates, like how Trump wants, down to 1 point something percent, which is very significant from the 4 point something percent that we're at right now. So that is going to be a major catalyst event for knowing that, hey, the money printer's turning back on. They're lowering interest rate. They're making money cheaper to borrow. More people are going to borrow money. More money printing is going to occur. Quantitative easing is coming back. And that is going to allow an injection of liquidity into markets, into higher risk assets. And that is going to pump the stock market, is going to pump crypto market, right? And everything's going to start rallying off that event. There's a very good chance, almost 90% chance, that we definitely get an interest rate cut in September. The chances in happening in July are low, but if we do get one in July and we get the Jerome Powell resigning, that would be 2 major catalysts, but just one of the two, whether he resigns or cuts interest rates in July now, will be massive. This next week now coming up is the official crypto week. So expect some big headlines. Maybe that's one of them. Maybe on Monday, we start hearing about how, hey, Jerome Powell is saying, peace out, I'm out of here. And that is going to be the kicker to start off the week for the crypto week. And I definitely think that the market is going to run off of that. Don't hold anything into 2026. Re-enter Bitcoin Q3 or Q4 of 2026. We could extend into 2026, man. There is a very good possibility that we extend into 2026, but I'm not worried about 2026 right now. I'm focused on Q3 of 2025, and then I'm going to be focusing on Q4 of 2025. And depending where Bitcoin's at around the end of Q4, right, is where I'm going to be potentially taking some profits or not. But everyone's like, the 4-year cycle ends at the end of 2025, right? Q4 of 2025, October time. That's the end. Guys, if you guys are still thinking that traditional markets are just going to allow us to time the market perfectly, everyone is talking about the exact 4-year cycle timing. There's no way that the traditional market is going to allow us to play that game anymore. Before they got in, yeah, we could play that game all day. 4-year cycle, do some basic math here and there, about 500 something average days for an entire bull cycle, and then it's over, and then the top comes in, we sell the top, and then we wait for the bottom after a 80% withdrawal, right, pullback, and then we buy back in. Those days are over. Those days are over. WP in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Let's jump over here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat over here. We good, bro, no matter what. Let's go. What are your thoughts on the market? Been dropping that like it's hot all morning. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Well, let me see. Make sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat. Make sure you guys are dropping your altcoin requests in here. What's the goal for Bitcoin before taking profits? Joshua, I don't know what your goal is. Everyone's goal is different when it comes to taking profits, when it comes to what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? My entry for Bitcoin is very different than a lot of people's entry for Bitcoin. So if you got into Bitcoin at 100,000, you should be more aggressive on potentially taking some profits, right? You need to be more aware that, hey, at some point, Bitcoin could drop below 100,000, and you're going to have to either dollar cost average, or, you're going to have to hang on to it for a long period of time. Obviously, Bitcoin, the people that buy Bitcoin and hold it for the long term, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, all of those people are in profit. Right now, every single Bitcoin holder is in profit unless you bought Bitcoin for the first time yesterday. Right? Unless yesterday was the first day you bought Bitcoin, you're the only people that are not in profit. Every other person in history that has bought Bitcoin is in profit now. So that's something to be aware of. People will take profits. You need to be aware of what your game plan is. What's your entry? What's your exit strategy? What are your goals trying to achieve, right? Are you trying to buy a house? Are you trying to build a retirement account? Are you trying to, find financial freedom? What is it that you're trying to achieve? And depending on what you're trying to achieve is what your goals are looking like. I personally will be interested in starting to take profits when Bitcoin is 150 plus. 150 plus is where I'm going to be looking for. Where's the altcoin market kind of feeling out right now? Or is altcoin market already like at all-time highs and we're really having a major altcoin season and we're skyrocketing? Then I'm going to be dollar cost averaging out of my altcoin bags around that time. If we're at 150 and altcoins haven't really moved just yet, I'm going to have to be a little bit patient. I'm going to have to wait for them to have a little bit of a move, right? If I don't see any major significant movement happening for altcoins around 150 to 200, I'm just going to cut my losses. I'm getting out. I'm not going to be holding altcoins for the next 3, 4, 5 years, right? I'm not going to be holding my altcoins deep into 2026, right? I do believe that there's a possibility that 2026 could be an extended bull market, but we will see. Redman, good to see you, brother. Good to see all of you guys in here, smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's go jump into some charts here, man. Let's go take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum hitting a bunch of targets. People are wondering, where are we going? So here on the daily, real simple, guys. We broke out of the Q1 range finally. We broke out of the Q1 range, baby. We are above the Q1 range right now. We are above 2878. We came all the way up to our weekly average of 3015. Hit that, got a little bit of a rejection, and we're pulling back here, kind of retesting the area. But meanwhile, we stay above the Q1 value area high. For Ethereum, Ethereum is solid. Our next targets are between 3103 to about 3182. Where is this gold pocket coming from? I got to redo this gold pocket because I'm pretty sure that gold pocket is incorrect. Let me get it here. Gold pocket. Let's get it. From these highs back in December to the lows of April. Yeah, buddy. Look at that gold pocket right in the midst of all these targets. Right in the midst of all these targets. So yes, we do have a pretty large gold pocket overall around 3156. 3156, along with these other targets, weekly MPOC, yearly pivot, daily average, all around the 3182. So definitely a very strong area of interest. Once we can break above 3100 for Ethereum and stay above that area, right? If we can blast through this area, which, could be difficult, but really depends on the altcoin season. If Bitcoin dominance can really drop below 63%, that would be fantastic, and it would be a lot more possible for Ethereum. Now, once we blast through 3182, our next big target is 3863, and above that is the $4,000 price point, which has been resistance all of 2024, right? Back in March of 2024, we got rejected at $4,000. Back in May of 2024, we front ran it coming up to 3978, and we dropped. Back in the beginning of December, we hit 4,000. We dropped. Then we came back up to 4,000 midway through December 17th, right? December 17th of 2024, got rejected again. We have not been able to cross over $4,000 and stay above $4,000 for any significant time at all for Ethereum. So if we are allowed if Ethereum is allowed to do that this time around, expect some big moves, guys. Expect some big moves. So that is definitely something to be keeping an eye on. If we start to see weakness around $4,000, we're dropping like it's hot again. Morning, Edwin. Good to see all of you guys. Good to see every single one of you guys in here. Appreciate all of you guys jumping in here. If you guys aren't already in the Crypto Citadel, my private trading community, definitely do so and join. We are currently, let's see here. Where are we at right now with the P&L? Right now for the first 2 weeks of July, we're up 24.49 so far. Only took 3 trades this week. Man, look at this. On Thursday, we longed the Bitcoin at the bottom at that previous week high of 110,500. And we closed early. We closed around the 111,000 right before the massive blast off. So I'm still kicking myself for that. That trade could have been huge, right? We could have been in the thousands of dollars on that one trade alone, but that's okay, right? So that's the P&L so far for July. We're up 2,400. These are all the trades, all the signals we've been taking here the last couple of weeks. For the month of June, we closed out at 38.52. 38.52 we closed out for the month of June. So we'll see if I can beat that this month around. We're currently up at 24.42, so almost there. Maybe we'll be able to beat that in this month. Do you think ETH hit 4K soon? Soon is a very relative term, right? Soon can be in 2 weeks. Soon can be in 2 days. Soon can be in 6 months. Soon can be in 2 years, right? Soon is a terrible word to use on when to predict a period of time. So yes, I do believe Ethereum can hit 4,000. I do think it can happen sometime before the end of this year. So relatively soon. Yes, I will agree with that. Good morning, Mr. C. Good to see you here, brother. Trump just applied new tariffs into European Union and Mexico. How will the markets react? Probably not great, but probably not as bad as most people think. People are now programmed to think every time there's a tariff announcement, major crash. And maybe there is, right? Some type of pullback, some type of negative market reaction in the short term, 1-2 days. And then there's going to be another announcement that follows it a day or two later or a week later about, hey, we came to a trade deal, or hey, we did this, and the market is going to adjust to it. The market will become numb to all these tariffs, right? When the first tariffs were announced back in January, February, the market tanked, right? The market just was crushed. Now, the talks about tariffs, we have little pullbacks, we have little, and then S&P recovers, right? The stock market recovers, and boom, the crypto market recovers, and we start skyrocketing again. So it's a very superficial, oh gosh, a little bit of fear, but no big deal, guys. Markets are baking all that stuff in. Let's see here. FedWire and XRP partnership. Don't know anything about that. That's a cool story. Dogecoin prediction. Let's go take a look at Dogecoin. I haven't looked at Doge in a second here. Let's go take a look at Doge. Doge. All right. Oh, I lie. I have looked at Doge recently. I literally just made a chart about it in the Crypto Citadel a few days ago. So yeah, Doge right now is trying to break out of his downward trend, right? Out of this 2-month downward trend. We came up, we got above the quarterly average of 18 cents. We're facing resistance here on this upper band of this regression trend. Our next target to the upside is 22.5 cents. 22.5 cents, above 22.5 cents. Our next target to the upside is 26.5 cents. Above that, we have targets between 32 to about 35, along with a gold pocket, 35 to 36 cents for Dogecoin, which is going to be a major area of interest right now. If Dogecoin cannot break out and we start pulling back here, areas to look out to down below are below 18 cents is back towards the value area low of of June, around 15, 16 cents. This October NPOC. I don't know why this is still here. And we'll be falling back into the lower band of the trend, right? We could be falling as low as 13 cents, which is the value area low for Q2. So those are targets to the downside and targets to the upside here for Dogecoin. The big meme coin mover has been Pengu, man. Pengu has been moving and grooving. If you guys been following Pengu, Pudgy Penguins, is up 38%, 38.9% on the week, up 105% on the month. Big move here for Pengu. Pengu's has definitely been moving and grooving. Redman says, Crusader, do you think we dip to 90K before next liftoff for Bitcoin? Redman, that is a great question. Do I think Bitcoin is going to drop to 90K before the next big liftoff? Honestly, right now, I don't think so. I don't think we drop to 90K. I think that's a very aggressive move to the downside. That is just not really in the cards right now. We are ranging up here at these new all-time highs around the 117. We'll have to be looking here. Are we going to retrace down to 112, or are we going to be building up a range up here above 112 and stay here for some time? There's a lot of targets on the way down to be looking for. 100,000 has been very strong support in the last couple of months, to be honest. So let's retrace here. Let me take some of this stuff off. This chart is overburdened right now, is at least to say. So back here in April, right, we blasted off from 90,000. We came up to 97, had some resistance around May 8th. We had that big blast off that took us over 100,000. After May 8th, right, we've come back down to 100,000 on May 12th. We came back to it on June 4th. And we had the one last big dip during June 22nd. You guys know everything that was going on around that period of time, that we actually dipped below it, but we SFP'd it, right? We swing failure pattern. It looked like we were going to break below, and then we closed right back above and kept going, right? We dipped down to 98. We front ran all our targets of 96 to 90, between 96 to 84,000. Front ran all those targets and pushed it back above 100,000. So 100,000 has been holding very strong here. Very strong, because even on this dip to 98, we wicked to 98, but we closed the day at 100,900. So we closed above 100. So it's very important to realize that 100,000 is very strong support here, and we've ranged above 100,000 for well over a month now, since May 8th, right? So we're literally over 2 months now, over 60 days spent above $100,000. So this is a very strong range that, yes, we could come back down to 105, 103, right? There are a lot of targets down there. If we lose 112, that we can come and revisit. But 100K is nothing to play around with. It's nothing to just like, we're going to lose and we're going to dump down. 100K is being that big psychological number, right? We all know that big round psychological numbers are very difficult to get through as resistance. But once you get through and you can start building support above it and ranging above it, like Bitcoin has been doing for the past 60 plus days now, this is going to be very strong support. It's going to be a very large psychological number if we lose 100,000, right, at this point in time. So it could be that 100,000 is our new local bottom here, that if we lose 100,000, that's going to signify like, hey, larger bear market trend is coming. A larger bearish trend is coming if we lose 100,000, because ranging above this level for over 60 days is not a joke. It's something very serious, and the fact that if we get to lose that, then do we know that the pullback is very strong and could last a lot longer than expected. So right now, I'm not expecting a drop to 90K and then coming back up. Those are very big price swings. We know that Bitcoin has become less and less volatile in that way of very massive price swings, right? Like that. We were very accustomed to stuff like that back in 2021 and before. Bitcoin would drop 40+% multiple times throughout the bull market, right? 5, 6, 7 times of 40+% drops. But Bitcoin hasn't really been doing that anymore. Bitcoin's been dropping. Biggest drop was when it came up to like 100, and then it dropped down to 75, 76,000, right? We had like that, it was like 100 and some change, and we dropped down to 76. It was like a 35% pullback overall. Outside of that pullback, we haven't had any true major pullbacks. Before that, right? That pullback happened in Q1 of 2025. Then the last overall big pullback was back in August of 2024 when Bitcoin dropped down to like 48,000, 52,000 area, and then it pumped back up towards that, $80,000 area. That was back in August. So like in this bull run so far, we've only had 2 real big significant pullbacks overall, 2, maybe 3. There might be another one that I'm missing out on off the top of my head, but great question, Redman. Bought at 100K and 108, but I'm not buying more at these levels. I'll just wait it out. Yeah, for sure, man. I'm not buying Bitcoin right now. Not because I don't think it's worth it, but, I definitely am going to be patient enough to wait for a dip, wait for my altcoins to really pump, take profits on those altcoins. And then when the altcoin profit is taken and we have a significant pullback in Bitcoin, then I'll start buying back into Bitcoin. Right now, I'm just focusing on growing my trading portfolio. Considering other altcoins, do you think Pepe will do better in this upcoming bull run? Guys, look, the thing about Pepe, right? Pepe is now an overplayed meme coin. It's a legacy meme coin at this point, right? Pepe was made back in like 2023 or whatever it is. It was the era before the pump.fun, right? Meme coin craze was created. There's tons of Pepes all over different blockchains now. There's all kinds of Pepes. The problem is that pump.fun has destroyed meme coin communities. Meme coin communities actually meant something back before pump.fun. Before 2024, meme coin communities were actually strong. They were actually something that people would jump into. They would find their community, they would stay there, and the project would have massive rallies throughout the bull cycle, right? But now that's gone. Now with pump.fun, people are in the trenches. People just focus on scalping freshly launched meme coins to try to 100x, 10x, 5x, whatever it is. There's these meme coin traders that you see all these videos from all the time. Just Breadman, thank you for the super chat, man. Let's go. Thank you for the $5. Thank you, man. I greatly appreciate the support. You didn't need to do that, but thank you so much, Redman. I appreciate it. So, meme coin culture is pretty much wrecked. It's just about chasing the pumps on the freshly created meme coins. Nobody really follows into these meme coin communities any longer because the large cap meme coins, right? What are they going to do? They're going to rally 25, 30%, right? Here and there. People don't want that. People want to get the instant rich satisfaction. They instantly want to make 1 Solana into 100 Solana in, 2 days. And they're not going to get that off these large cap meme coins. So the large cap meme coins like Pepe, right? It's up 24.8% this week. Up 24.8% this week. Floki is up 25.6% this week. Pengu has been the best performing meme coin. That's because they have a whole NFT and product line behind it. They're way more than just a meme coin. Up 103% this month, 37% on the week. Shiba up 14.9% on the week. So they're going to have these little rallies, but the grand majority of the time, they're going to be down and out, right? So, yes, Pepe could have rallies. Is it going to have a blow off top, like crazy wild ride? It all depends on how steep the altcoin season is, but I just wouldn't be putting my long-term holds there. ETH, should I get in on it or wait for a bigger dip? That's a great question. ETH is definitely not saying that you don't want to be buying ETH right now, but I'm kind of saying that, right? Because of the simple fact that, just on June 22nd, you could have caught ETH down at 2,100. 2,100. We're currently at basically 3,000. We're at 29. We're basically at $3,000 just on June 22nd, which was just a few weeks ago, right? Before May 8th, over 2 months ago, you could have caught Ethereum down at 1,600, right? During March, April, we were down at $1,600 Ethereum. Tons of time to be buying at way lower prices. $3,000, like I said, I showed you guys here that the chart for Ethereum, all of 2024, major resistance at 4,000, major resistance at 4,000, major resistance getting rejected all year long from 4,000. Now, it depends on your introspect of your overall vision of your portfolio. Are you a long-term investor, right? If you're a long-term investor, if you're thinking, hey, I'm going to hold Ethereum for the next 5-6 years, then buying at 2,900 doesn't seem like a terrible idea, right? Because I do believe at some point in the next, whether it's this year or 2026 or by 2028, Ethereum will be at $8,000 plus. It will hit those levels. So if you're a long-term holder, you will make, I'm going to be holding Ethereum throughout the next 5-6 years because I do believe Ethereum is going to experience a moment in time where it is going to be 8,000, 10,000, maybe even higher than that, right? At some point in time. But you have to be a long-term investor. If you're going to be paper handing, right? Because if you're going to buy Ethereum now at 2,900 and then in the next 6 to 12 months, Ethereum isn't at $5,000 yet, and you're seeing all these other altcoins pumping, you're going to go sell your Ethereum potentially for a loss or at a break-even point, best case scenario, and then jump FOMO into other altcoins that are blasting off, chasing FOMO. You're going to get wrecked there because you're going to be buying local tops. They're going to drop. Then you're going to go back to Ethereum and you're going to be holding even less Ethereum. If that's what you think might happen to you, then don't buy Ethereum now, because there will be altcoins that you're going to see major blast offs, right? That are going to be blasting off more than Ethereum, and you're going to be FOMOing. If you're going to be FOMOing, then Ethereum's not for you. If you have Ethereum as a long-term 5+ year hold, then 2,900 isn't terrible. ETH has been super hot. Yeah, man. ETH is, people have been sleeping on ETH all of 2024. People don't understand the level of institutional demand, the amount of whales scooping up Ethereum. There are literally companies now coming out and creating an Ethereum treasury, right? Just how they've been creating Bitcoin treasury companies. They've been raising money. There are now companies doing the same thing with Ethereum. Why? Because they understand that they can buy Ethereum and they can stake it, and they can put it into a node, and they can start staking their Ethereum, and they can start making passive yield on it. The Ethereum ETFs don't do that yet, but they will at some point. And when they do, the institutional demand for Ethereum is going to grow even more, because traditional finance loves dividends. They love that passive income, right? And if they can lock their money into an asset that they know is going to appreciate in value in the next 5 to 10 years, and at the same time be making passive rewards on it, they will do it, right? The only reason they're not buying a large amount of Ethereum spot ETFs is because they don't have that ability yet, right? They'll just rather buy the Bitcoin ETF. Bitcoin is performing, they're going to be buying it, but they're not getting any passive yield on Bitcoin. Once Ethereum starts offering that passive yield, they're going to be changing their game plan, and they're going to be buying the Ethereum ETF as well, which is going to be a major catalyst for Ethereum. Diamond in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Crypto Citadel member in the house, always representing. Good to see you, man. Let's see here. XRP all-time high next week. Man, let's not get ahead of ourselves here with XRP, right? We'll jump into the XRP chart here. XRP's been having a nice little rally. Where's my chart at? All right, so XRP. We've been talking about this in the Crypto Citadel since June 1st, right? That, hey, we were looking for this 277. We actually closed below it, but it's okay. We closed around 272, right around this 618 fib pull, right, for XRP. Now we're back about above it at 279. Our next main target is $3.10. This is going to be dependent on Bitcoin dominance, right? Bitcoin dominance begins to slip and let altcoins rally, and we're going to actually experience an altcoin season. Then yes, 310 is definitely on the books, right? We are currently we hit as high as 296 yesterday, and that was pretty close to that 310. Then we started, obviously, Bitcoin's price started falling, Bitcoin's dominance started to rise, and XRP quickly pulled back, signifying that, hey, XRP works just like any other altcoin. Every XRP holder out there that believes that XRP is somehow special, it's not special yet, at least, because once the Bitcoin price starts dropping and Bitcoin dominance starts rising, XRP, just like any other altcoin, starts to pull back. Now, I do believe 310 is a very possible and realistic target to hit here in the next big rally in the altcoins, right? Could happen next week. By Monday, by Tuesday, whatever, we have another big altcoin rally. Definitely 310 is coming, right? Above 310, we don't really have any historical targets above that, all the way up to the all-time high of around 416. At least that's what, the Binance exchange shows the all-time high being, $4.16. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll continue to follow it, week by week, day by day. But staying above the value area high of Q1, which is 276, 277, is very bullish for XRP overall to continue rallying up higher. Now, if we start facing resistance here, start pulling back, we got to look for this 256, potentially 242 area again to hold as support. Good to see everybody here. Afternoon from sunny Holland. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Appreciate you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Joining the Crypto Citadel if you haven't already, my private trading community. As you guys can see here, our quickly here our P&Ls for the month of June, $3,852. Fantastic trading month here on June. And then obviously right now these are all our trades, all the signals I've been posting, yada yada yada. And so far this week, or I should say this month, the month of July, so far we're up 24.49. Only made 3 trades this week, made up 1028, right? $1,028, made $1,400 last week, so we're up for a total of 24.49. And if you guys don't care about trading, obviously we have macro long-term analysis here, breaking down the bullish trends, the bearish trends, key areas to be looking for, targets to be taking potential profits from, and much more. So if you guys want to join, you guys definitely can. You can get 50% off your first month with the code Citadel. Link is in the profile. Link is down in the description, depending where you're watching. Is it worth investing XRP now? Kyle, the realistic answer is no. It's just not. Realistically, XRP is a good asset to trade at these levels, not a great asset to be buying at these levels for a long-term hold, right? You maybe around $2, $1.95, it was somewhat justifiable. But you guys need to remember, XRP spent 8 years down at 50 cents. 8 years at 50 cents. People have accumulated a lot of XRP. People will use you as exit liquidity, which is one of the reasons why I don't ever plan on holding XRP. I don't like XRP in general, but I am trying to move past those rants. I don't want to get back into why I don't like XRP. I'm just telling you, at $2, it makes no sense for me to be buying an asset that spent 8 years at 50 cents. Can it rally higher? Yes, it can rally to $3, $4, maybe even $5 or $6. I will take trades. I will take longs. I will take short time frame positions on it. I'm not buying a spot and holding it for the next 5 to 6 years. It's just not going to happen. The risk versus reward doesn't make any sense for me. That whole XRP special, it's going to flip the switch and take over. I don't buy into any of that narrative. People exist. There's content creators that exist that literally spend their entire lives just talking about that flip of the switch eventually coming for the last 8 years. And all they've created is a ton of bag holders. Do you know anyone who does crypto taxes? Yes, I have a crypto tax guy, decrypt.tax. He's the guy that does my crypto taxes. Great, fantastic. Where they use Node 40, which is a fantastic software to track all of your taxes, all your transactions. Makes it really, really easy. So yeah. XRP price prediction end of year. If we get the altcoin season that I expect we're going to, if we're going to see a Bitcoin somewhere around the 150,000 plus in the by the end of this year, I do think that XRP can reach somewhere around $4 to $5 by the end of the year. Next week is crypto week, but this cycle only moves higher or prior to the big expected dates. Why? I don't know if I truly understand your question. Gloria, thank you for the gift. I greatly appreciate it. I don't know if I truly understand your question. Don't really go based off headlines, guys. Headlines are more buy the rumor, sell the news events. People that get super bullish about headlines, about something big is going to be announced. Trust me, guys, the market is already buying up an asset if they know a big headline is coming, just so they can trap all of you guys, because the grand majority of people don't buy. They wait for the big announcement. They wait for the big FOMO green candle, and then they start getting incentivized and bullish, and they start getting the FOMO to buy, right? Most investors don't get the FOMO to buy when markets are in the red. On June 22nd, when Bitcoin was on 98,000, when quarter one of 2025, when altcoins were down 80-90% in the red and Bitcoin was down to 76, not a lot of people wanting to buy. I'm sure there's a lot of people wanting to buy now because I see it in my live streams. I see it in the chat. Is it a good time to buy altcoins now? Is it a good time to buy altcoins? Where were you 2 months ago? Where were you 3 months ago, right? Why haven't you been buying? Why are you waiting for the major breakout rallies to then FOMO in and buy tops? And then in 2 or 3 weeks or a month when there's another major pullback, oh, crypto sucks. I'm in the red. I don't know what I'm doing. All I do is lose money. Because you FOMO, you chase green candles instead of, chasing red candles. Let's see. Finally, someone thinks the same about XRP as I do, dude. You already know. If you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you guys know that I can go into deep XRP rants. If you look at my historical history here as a content creator, I've debated almost every single big XRP. Well, I'm not going to say every single. There's a lot of them out there. But some of the most well-known ones, I've debated Zach Rector. I've debated Crypto Mason, Joshua Jake. I've debated them live. It's on YouTube. You guys can go find it. Hour-long debates, me debating XRP versus Bitcoin, why XRP is not what they think it is. And so far, here I am still standing. They were never able to disprove me, right? Obviously, I wasn't trying to change their mind and make them into any type of Bitcoin maxi or anything like that. But here it is. Who's leading the market? Bitcoin. What does the institutions want? Bitcoin. XRP is doing the same thing it's been doing for the last 5 years. I remember you arguing with Keeper about XRP. Dude, 100%. 100%. What do you think alts now? What about them? Altcoins right now are just waiting for Bitcoin dominance to drop. Bitcoin dominance has been trying to climb back into its uptrend, right? It came down as low as 64.10, 64.8% yesterday, and then it bounced back up into the high 64%. We need to continue seeing a pullback here on the Bitcoin dominance, getting rejected off the lower band of this uptrend and start dropping below 64%, heading towards this 63.30 and lower. And if we see that, we are going to continue to see altcoins rallying. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's price stays above 112 and stays ranging up here at these highs. I still wait for your response concerning Pepecoin. Network is unstable right now. I already talked about Pepe a long time ago. I already gave my thoughts. I already looked at the chart. I already did all that. Ripple is dumping billions on us. They won't let the price fly. They did millions yesterday. That's all they do. All they do is they created a coin, right? Ripple created a coin, Ripple the company, and they hold a ton of it in escrow that they periodically, consistently have been dumping onto the market, having all of you guys accumulate it, right? With all these rumors of all these banks, of all these institutions for the last 8 years, which have never gave any type of fruit, any type of, actual adoption, any type of actual price movement at all, ever. And what do? They're cashing out, cashing out, cashing out. And then what do you hear? Oh, Ripple's trying to buy this company, and Ripple's buying that company, and Ripple wants to IPO, and Ripple's accumulating all these companies that have nothing to do with XRP, that won't affect the price of XRP, that won't push the price of XRP. So what have they done? They've used the XRP coin as a way to fundraise for their own company and be able to acquire more companies to benefit themselves, so then eventually IPO on the stock market, become even richer, and you guys are just here holding XRP. And XRP isn't moving. So, yeah. I'm up 300% in XRP. Fantastic. If you got in before November 2024, you are up on XRP. Yeah, okay. How long did it take you to get there? Everybody loves to come back to this point. Well, I'm up 300% now. Okay. People spent 8 years and that thing didn't move. People missed massive bull runs in 2021 because all they were focused on was on XRP and XLM. And the grand majority didn't take any profits, right? They didn't take profits in 2018. They didn't take profits in 2021. They've been focusing all their bags on XRP. And guess what? 2024 came around. They were still just not taking any profits, and now you're happy about being up 300%. People have made tens of thousands of percent in the last 4 years, in the last year alone, with a million other altcoins. So the 300% on XRP is fantastic. I applaud you. I'm happy for people to make money, but realistically, when you look at the grand scheme of things in the crypto market, people that are up 300% on XRP haven't done anything fantastic at all. That is a nothing burger here in crypto, right? XLM pumped 700% in just 1 month in November, right? We have things like Radium, right? Up tons of percentage. Well, not in the last year. Not Radium. What was I looking at? Gosh, what the heck was this thing that's up? Virtuals up 5,000%. This is what I was talking about. 5,000% in the last year. You're over here applauding a 300% move after 8 years. This coin right here pumped 5,000% in 1 year, right? This is what I'm talking about. XRP, and there's just tons of other crypto opportunities that the grand majority of XRP holders have completely missed out on. I sold all my alt, gonna buy again in September. Well, yeah, let's hope we have a big dip before then, Mike, and then you could definitely get in. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes. Thoughts on ADA? Let's go look at ADA here. I'm getting off my XRP kick, guys. You guys are bringing me back old memories. I don't want to talk about XRP anymore. Just hydrating. So, ADA has broken out of his downtrend right from the last 2 months. Currently sitting around 71 cents. We came up to the gold pocket, hit some resistance around this area. We hit monthly MPOCs. We hit a lot of little targets in the short term, right? We broke above 64. We broke out of the downtrend. We hit the quarterly NPOC. We hit the monthly average. We hit the monthly MPOC around 75 cents yesterday. But realistically, Cardano needs to move above 86 cents. That's our next big target. Getting above 86 cents allows us to run between 94 to $1. 94 to $1 is a big block of resistance for Cardano. Now, once we can get above $1 and actually hold above $1, right? We don't have a lot of time spent up here throughout the year of 2024. We spent some time here in November, December, and then January, and we fell right back down. We do have a target of 120. Above 120, we have targets between 150, 178 to 215. These are more historical targets from back in 2021 to be looking out for. And, the big thing for Cardano is getting above $1. If Cardano can't get above $1, it's not really going to go much further. So the resistance is at $1. We need to get above that to really start having some major moves for Cardano. there's been a lot of rumors with Cardano, and they're going to be bridging over with Bitcoin and creating this whole bridge. And now the midnight airdrop is coming. I don't know where the heck I am on that. I don't know. I don't even know how to claim that thing. Midnight is like this like super cool privacy coin with all this DeFi and all this whatever possibilities, all built on Cardano. I don't really truly all understand it, but I don't know. Cardano needs to get above $1. That's where I'm ending that. This guy knows nothing about nothing. I guess that's what the whole statement was. Good luck, Easter. I had $225,000 of XRP, bought it at 25 cents, sold it at 88. Glad I'm out. Let's go, Diamond. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Taking profits, bro. Taking profits. Something that the XRP community doesn't understand. Easter. Mike says, I assume you're not taking profits. Perfect audience for XRP. Bonk is going nuts. Bonk is up 34% this week, like the grand majority of other large meme coins, up 49% in the month, 3% on the day. There was rumors about some big ecosystem play happening on Bonk and Solana, all that stuff. Don't know where any of that ended up. I don't really follow rumors or headlines. I just focus on the technical analysis majority of the time. So if something is happening in Bonk, let me know. Let's go take a look. ETH, can we short? Not yet, man. I wouldn't be shorting anything right now with the possibility of a major Bitcoin dominance drop, right? If I start seeing Bitcoin dominance really climbing, then shorts definitely start to become a bigger thing on the table. Let's go take a look at Hbar. Let's go take a look at Quant. We'll take a look at Pengu as well. Hbar, come on, where are you at? Hbar here. Hbar is currently above the, oh no, it's actually below it. It's tapped the monthly MPOC for May of 19 cents, practically almost 20 cents. We really need to get above the value area high for May, start breaking above that, which is 21 cents. We have some targets here between 23 to 24 cents. Above that, we have resistance at 26 to 28 cents. And then we are running for the quarter 1 high, value area high. So between 30 to 33 cents will be our next big targets once we're above 24 cents for Hbar. Now, if Hbar gets rejected here around the 21 cent area, we start pulling back. Look for areas of interest between 18.5 to about 16.5 cents as areas of support for Hbar. Let's go take a look at Quant. Quant has been a very nice, strong uptrend here, man, and it's been performing very well here in this second quarter. So if we get the trend for quarter 2, right? Very steep uptrend, very nice. We're literally just hugging the lower band of this uptrend for Quant. If we do drop out of it, have a little bit of a minor pullback, look for support between 101 to $96. If $96 is lost, then possibility of retracement down to between 81 to about 67 becomes higher probability on the table. Now, to the upside, if we continue grinding, slowly crawling back up, we need to get above $124 for Quant to start making a bigger move to 141, 162, and then we have some larger historical targets between 174. Appreciate all the gift sending. Appreciate it. Between 174 to $200. We'll see that. We'll take care of that when we get there closer. Right now, we need to get above 124 to start moving to 141, potentially 162 for Quant. We'll cover AVAX here in just a second. Let's go take a look at Pengu. Pengu. So Pengu has, extended above its uptrend from quarter 2, having a big, strong push to the upside. Pengu broke out of the June range, came up to the value area high of May. We broke above the heart line of the uptrend. We came back. We retested the point of control. We retested the hard line for the uptrend around 1.5 cents. Blasted off of that again. Went through our target here, our quarterly average of 0.019. And now we are front running our main target here our local main target of 2.5 cents. We came up as high as 0.024, and we're starting to pull back a little bit. So expect, if we do have a steeper pullback, look for a retest of this quarterly average around 0.019 to retest on this uptrend as well. We could bounce off of that and then hit the 2.5 cents. Above 2.5 cents, we have a gold pocket at 3 cents for Pengu. Let's go take a look at AVAX. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe, and do not forget to sign up for the Crypto Citadel. You can get 50% off your first month, my private trading community, using the code Citadel. So AVAX is in a downtrend. It's breaking out of it currently, slightly breaking out of it, not having any type of strong movement just yet. But we are currently above $20. Our next target here is the local gold pocket of $22.91. Above that, we have a monthly MPOC at $23.51. So we need to really see AVAX break above $26 and fight the resistance here around $29 to $30. Once AVAX can get above $29 to $30, we're going to be moving to some larger target time frames. We have big targets between $36 to $41 above 30, and then above 41 we have targets all the way up between $51 is our last local target for 2024. Above $51 we start getting some big targets between $71 to as high as the 21 all-time high of $147 for AVAX. So we'll see if AVAX can really start making a push, man. AVAX is one that has really blown my mind with how diverse their ecosystem is. AVAX has real world assets. They're tokenizing over in New Jersey or something like that, like $270 billion of real estate on AVAX. California has also used AVAX to tokenize deeds of either houses or cars. I don't remember right now. They have precious gemstones like diamonds and stuff like that also tokenized on AVAX. So they have real world assets. They're the only blockchain with like legitimate crypto gaming that people are playing games on their Xboxes and PlayStations and PCs and don't even know that they're playing a blockchain game. So they're the only one with real active crypto gaming right now. They have real world assets. They're a cheap layer one. They have NFTs. They have meme coins. They've pretty much got it all. They have a great community, very tight, strong AVAX believers. Their foundation and their marketing is perfect. They have conferences. They have all this stuff going on for a perfect ecosystem, very diverse. The price not representing what the ecosystem is doing, which has really blown my mind on AVAX. So I just hope that their price eventually starts to really represent all the hard work that blockchain is doing. I just covered Hbar literally like maybe 3 minutes ago. Please tell me the marked up go again in the next 1 or 2 days. Well, Kevin, what are you referring to? Clay the Great, what's going on, man? Says, I feel you, man. I learned from everybody and I try not to be. Yeah, that part is super weird. They are literally the only one that's working products. It seems like, for sake, my car title is apparently on AVAX NFT now. Yeah, man, I honestly don't understand. I don't know what's going on. Brandy says, thoughts on Arrow. Let's go take a look at Arrow. Let's go look for Algorand. We'll take a look at Bitcoin again. So let's go look at Aerodrome. Aerodrome. All right. So Aerodrome is in an uptrend. It's just having a little bounce off the making, as you guys can see here, we're making higher lows, right? We bottomed out around April 8th at 29 cents. Then we bottomed out around, again, June 7th, around 49 cents. We currently, around July 7th, have bottomed out again around 68 cents, making higher lows, keeping the uptrend intact for quarter two. Our next target here is 83 cents. It's the monthly MPOC for June. Once we can start breaking above 83 cents, we need to focus on this 91 cent area. It is the value area high for quarter one and the month of June. So a little bit of resistance there between 88 to 91 cents for Aerodrome. Above that, we have the resistance of 95 to $1.06. So pretty much from 90 cents to about $1.05, there's a lot of resistance for Aerodrome, right? A lot of resistance for Aerodrome to get above $1.05. Once we can actually start closing dailies and holding volume above $1 for Aerodrome, and we can continue in this uptrend, we have targets between 135 to about 159, and we have a gold pocket up at 168 with a monthly untapped PIV at 164. So we have some pretty decent targets for Aerodrome to the upside. Its all-time high is 237. Don't know if we're going to hit that or not, but we really need to see Aerodrome get above $1.05 to start running so we can have a chance to run for the 164 targets for Aerodrome. Let's go take a look at Algorand. Algorand. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes. Appreciate everybody hitting that subscribe. Join the Crypto Citadel, baby. Stop missing out on the trade signals. Up $2,400 this month so far. Closed out up $3,800 last month. So literally pays for itself. All right, Algorand here has broken out of his downtrend. Facing some resistance here around 21 cents. If we do have a pullback, look for support between 20, so about 18 cents for Aerodrome, for Algorand. Sorry about that. Now to the upside, once we start getting above the value area high of May, around 24.5 cents, our targets to the upside are between 28 to 29. It is two quarterly targets. One is a quarterly average, another was a quarterly NPLC between 28 and 29 cents. Above that, next target is 32 cents, and then we don't have any big targets above that until 39 to 45 cents for Algorand. Obviously, some people are thinking that Algorand can run to like $4 or $5, close to some, or at least over $1 at some point. We'll take a look at those levels as we get there closer and closer. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Let me see here. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anything? No, I think we're good. Anybody want any other altcoins? Always drop it into the chat. XLM, just saw that one. Let's go take a look at XLM. Where are you at, XLM? All right. So XLM's definitely had a big push here, hitting a lot of big targets. We broke out of the Q2 range. We got above the Q1 range here, getting above 33 cents. We're currently at 38 cents. We've come as high as 41. We still have one more target at 42, basically 43 cents, which is a quarterly and monthly MPLC. Above that 43 cent area, our next target is the local gold pocket at 48 cents. And then above that, we have 51 cents. Now, like I said, major rally here for XLM. So let's get a little bit of a local gold pocket in case of a potential pullback. So from the lows of June 22nd, assuming that right now we are at a local high, we're going to face some resistance and pullback. Areas to look out for a potential pullback are the 382 is at 34 cents. So a retest of this quarterly average around 33 or 34 cents would be a decent area to pull back to, find some support, stay within the Q1 value area high, within the value area low of Q1, find some support in here, and then continue moving up. No guarantee that we're going to drop that low from 38 to about 33, 34, but would be nice to build some support there, confirm that, because we just have a massive God candle just sending it up, right? No real volume to come back and retest those areas. So if we want to sustain ourselves at these levels and continue moving higher, we need to slow down and build some support around these areas, around 33 or 34 cents, before continuing to move to the upside. Let's see here, going through the chat, make sure Ondo, if you have time, let's go take a look at Ondo. Ondo, oops, nope, that's not my Ondo chart. All right. Ondo, good old Ondo. So Ondo did have a little bit of a breakout from its downtrend. We came up to the Q2 NPLC of 91 cents. We hit the 618, where we didn't hit the gold pocket, but we hit the 618 at 93 cents yesterday, starting to pull back here. We need to hold support around 84 to 81 cents to confirm breaking out of this downtrend. We don't want to fall back into the downtrend. We could head lower right? We still have a September NPOC that's untapped down at 59 cents. Definitely don't want to go down there. So if Ondo can hold support here around 84 to 81 cents, push above our gold pocket of 95 cents, we need to get above the value area high of quarter two to really stay within quarter one's range. That is above $1.03. We tried doing that back in May and we got rejected. We could not sustain it. So Ondo has the same problem that Cardano and Aerodrome have, sustaining above $1. Once we can get above $1, Ondo has targets at 122, 132, 154, 165, 177. A lot of targets to the upside for Ondo, but we need to claim $1 to start seeing some of those bigger moves out of Ondo. So guys, just want to quickly, one last time, if you guys are not in the Crypto Citadel, you guys are looking for trade signals, looking for macro long-term analysis, P&L for July so far is up 24.49. These are the trades that we've been taking here for July so far. These are all the signals, all the trades. You guys can see everything is fully transparent here. There's no fugazi on P&Ls or wins or losses. Everything's here to be seen. For the month of June, we closed out at 3,800. We did have one negative week of 132, which is perfectly fine, perfectly normal. So yeah, up 38.52 for the total here on the month of June, closing out and getting some big wins. Like you guys can see, we don't take a trade every single day. We just take the most optimal trades possible. And it's all about the small, consistent wins, staying consistently winning, small wins, $345, $255, $500, $400, right? Those small, consistent wins become large numbers, large numbers at the end of the month, right? That's a full-time salary for a lot of people, right? We made $1,400 last week. We made $1,028 this week. We only took three trades this week, and we're up 24.49 so far. So if you guys want to do that, want to follow along with my trades in the Crypto Citadel, definitely do so. Join. You can test it out for the first month, getting 50% off with the code Citadel. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Let me see here. ICP, dude, I'm so tired of ICP, man. ICP has been a huge letdown. It's at $5.27 right now. If ICP gets anywhere between $10 to $15 again, I'm selling all my ICP, man. I don't care if it goes to $100 after that. I've been holding this thing for years. 2024 was massive resistance for ICP at $15. It got rejected multiple times, like over 5-6 times at $15. Only one moment in time in 2024 did we actually break above $15. We ran to 19, came back to 15 to retest support, lost it, never came back to it again. So yeah. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes. XCN. Let's go take a look at XCN real quick. All right, so XCN broke back into its quarter two range, front ran our quarterly target here, our monthly NPOC of a 0.018. We've dropped back down to 0.016. We need to hold above the value area low of the quarter two range, above 0.015. Holding above that still gives us a chance to continue pushing up higher, hitting our monthly NPOC. Right now, overall, let's get this trend to the end of June. We've been in a slight downward trend so far for the last 2 months, from May 1st to the end of June. It's going to be a little bit of a steeper downtrend. We are breaking out of that steeper downtrend the last 2 months, which is good. Retesting it right now. We need to start really making a move above 2 cents, getting above 2 cents, breaking above the value area high of quarter two. We do have some targets to the upside around 3 cents and 3.5 cents for XCN, but we're not going to be getting anywhere near those targets until we can get above 2 cents for XCN. IMX, let me see. IMX immutable. Let's go take a look at immutable. I don't think I've looked at this chart in a long time. Yeah, like you're gonna have to give me a second here to update this thing. Yeah, let's get some ranges here. Let's get Q2 data. Q2. Let's get the regression trend for the last 2 months. Okay, let's get Q1 data over here. Let me get rid of all this stuff. Gosh, this chart is a mess. All right, let's get Q1. Okay, let's get gold pocket from the local highs back in December to the local lows of June 22nd. Let's get some monthly untapped averages. Let's get some quarterlies. Okay. All right. So chart for IMX, we are breaking out of the downtrend from the last 2 months. We need to get above the value area high of Q2, which is at 60 cents. Next big target is our quarterly untapped average, which is at 83 cents. It also lines up with the value area high for Q1's range. So expect a lot of resistance around that area. Once we can break above 83 cents, next big target is 106. Above 106, we got 122, 148, and a gold pocket up at 158 for IMX. But like I said, we need to really start making a move above 60, and then 83 is going to be critical to get above to really start seeing some bigger moves. If we can't get above 83, it's probably going to start pulling back and dumping again. So watch out for that. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes. Somebody just said, just got here. Bitcoin thoughts. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin's chart real quick. So Bitcoin overall, right, has made some new highs. We're currently at 117. Bitcoin dominance is still at 64.72, which is hurting the altcoins a little bit. Bitcoin dominance needs to drop lower to start allowing altcoins to run. We need Bitcoin to really sustain itself at these highs, right? We don't want to see any significant pullbacks. We could retest the previous all-time high of 112, but that is a pretty big drop from 117 to 112. Will probably most likely hurt the altcoins as well, seeing such a large drop like that. Now, dropping down to about 115 to 114, it wouldn't be too terrible for an area to just come back, build some more support, and push up higher. We need to be looking out for Bitcoin, right? For Bitcoin to sustain these levels, range up here, build support above 112, wherever that is, right? Build some support, trade sideways here for a couple of days, maybe a week or two, or have another big push to the upside and allow Bitcoin dominance to drop to let altcoins run. Now, if Bitcoin starts dropping below 114, showing weakness, coming down to the 112, and 112 does not hold, and we drop below 112, it's gonna get a little ugly here, right? It's gonna be a potential larger pullback overall. I mean, that's a huge pullback from 117 to 112, 108, right? Which where we're at last week is already a big pullback. We're talking about over $10,000, right, of a pullback for Bitcoin. So we need to be very careful of that. If that happens, altcoins are definitely gonna get crushed. Now, we're gonna get new weekly data here on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be doing some weekly and macro updates for Bitcoin. We're going to be getting the new previous week high. We're going to be getting the new previous week low, weekly open, all this stuff. I was going to show us a lot more support zones around this area up here, and there's going to give us a good idea of where Bitcoin's at. Bitcoin's had a very aggressive uptrend. Do not be surprised if we have some type of pullback, right? But we are coming into the crypto week. People are expecting a lot of bullish momentums, big headlines coming. we might get it, but we might also just get on, right? It might be just setting up for a larger pullback. Not saying that the altcoin rally would be over, but overall, a significant pullback down to 112 is significant at this point in time. So we definitely have to be looking out for that. Right now, we're losing the daily open. We've just been ranging sideways yesterday. If we start losing the value area low of 117.200, we need to be looking out for potentially dropping down to 115, right, or lower. So we'll see how the week closes on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be getting the new weekly data with the Asia markets are going to be opening up, reacting to this price action, and then we'll see how the crypto week plays out overall. But yeah, would not be looking to enter a long on Bitcoin around these levels, but can't be too overly zealous and just open blind shorts here, because markets can stay very irrational and they can continue to just pump, right? So we need to be looking for good resistance areas to potentially take a short on, some potential sweeps, some potential reversals where we can put a little bit of risk for some shorts. But we have to be very careful with that, because irrational markets will wreck traders. This is one of the reasons why Friday I didn't take any trades. I didn't take any trades on Friday because I just knew that Bitcoin was acting irrational. There was a lot of moments that I looked at it was going to drop a lot lower, and it didn't. It pumped. It looked like there was times that there was going to be big pumps, and it didn't. So I literally just told the Crypto Citadel how, hey, I'm not trading. I'm not taking any more trades. We're already up $1,000 this week. I'm just going to wait for the dust to settle, see how the week closes, see how everything ends up, and then we'll be looking for new targets. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Join the Crypto Citadel if you haven't already. You can get 50% off your first month using the code Citadel. You get trade signals every single day. You get macro long-term analysis to build out your long-term portfolios, looking for targets to the upside, potential areas to strategically dollar cost average, and more. And you're part of a great community overall of everybody helping each other. So guys, I'll see you guys in the Crypto Citadel. I'm Blockchain Crusader. Until next time, I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.